Good morning, New Prague area schools and New Prague community. Welcome to the 6th edition of SuptTalk. My name is Tony Booth, the Director of Educational Services, and I'm here with our Superintendent, Mr. Dittberner. Good morning, Mr. Dittberner.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for being with us today. Before we get to our first guest, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. And there was a school board meeting last Monday night and had attendance areas on it. And if you could just kind of give the viewers a little brief overview of what that is all about.
Yeah, it came up. We had deal with an issue right now with attendance, our attendance populations at the different elementary schools. Right now, Falcon Ridge Elementary is at capacity or near capacity of nearly 650 students. So we formed a task force this past fall, take a look at it. It was met 3 times. We had a couple of surveys conducted, online surveys, and we had informational meetings where gave a chance for parents to provide input or ask questions. So that took place in the course of 5 or 6 months, starting back last August. And finally in January here at our last board meeting, made a recommendation to go with the option of having affect about 75 students, about 4% of our elementary student population, that part of Lonsdale, anything north of 19 basically, north and east of 19 would be going to Eagleview Elementary. So it'll alleviate the crowding, the enrollment issue that we have at Falcon Ridge Elementary and balance it out a little bit. We wanted to obviously balance the enrollments, alleviate the crowding issue at Falcon Ridge while still affecting as few families as possible. So, took a while to do that, but we thought we did the right process, and it's one of those things, it's an emotional thing where not everyone's going to be happy with the decision, but we feel it's the best decision at this time.
So, Mr. Dittberner, if some folks are watching this that maybe are questioning, I wonder if I'm in that area, I wonder if I'm in the change from Falcon Ridge to Eagleview. What is the school doing to let those people know that there is a change? Is there anything on the website or social media?
Any of the families that were affected or anyone actually in the Lonsdale area, we've sent letters home to. We also, later this week, we'll have it on our website and send it out through social media. And if there's any questions, obviously you can call the district office. We also have the number in our letters too, if they're concerned about busing. To call the transportation office. I will say this, a question comes up, people get confused on the whole issue because we talk about inter-district transfer and an open enrollment. We still have open enrollment, we did not close open enrollment, and inter-district transfer, we still allow that. A lot of school districts don't when it comes to busing issues or school choice, but we allow parents to have that choice. If they are in the Falcon Ridge area, for example, they can fill out a form and inter-district transfer and go, for example, to Eagleview Elementary. They can either provide their own transportation or they can get on the nearest bus stop. And so just want to make sure everyone knows that.
So as Mr. Dittberner said, a lot of information on the New Prague website, and you can always contact the district office with any questions. A second thing that I know is happening here real quick is I heard through the grapevine that some bids have been in for the middle school and some actual construction or digging may even happen late winter or early spring.
Yeah, we went out we opened up for bids and we received everything last Thursday, and the board approved it, and Metcon was the lowest bid. We had 7 bidders, general contractors bidding for it, and so we're very happy about it. They came in under what projected budget, about $900,000, so that's a good thing. Now the middle school's done. Like I said, Metcon will have that. The CEC, the Central Education Campus, we separated them, so that will go out for bid now too. So we're advertising for that, and we'll open the bids on that one on March 8th. So again, we think we'll have 5 to 7 general contractors bidding for that. Metcon probably will bid for it also. It could be the same general contractor in both. It could be someone else, but according to our architects and our construction manager, this is the best way to go about it. So we should know, like I said, everything by March 8th, and the board will be approving it shortly thereafter.
Well, good. Those are very exciting times. I would like to kind of also bring up a little bit of something from the past. The last superintendent episode that we had, we were on location at the New Prague High School and kind of in the gymnasium area. And Mr. Dittberner, you interviewed everything from our activities director to athletic trainer to coaches and to players too. And, you know, just kind of talk a little bit about really how busy the schools are. Middle school athletics, there's middle school activities. Just kind of really want to focus on the number of students that are student athletes, student activities, and the importance of being involved.
Oh yeah, it's you know, from research that's been done, the greatest indicator of future success for kids isn't necessarily test scores or some of the things you always hear about and stuff like that. It's their involvement in co-curricular activities, whether it's the arts, athletics. We have some academic activities that extend beyond the school day. So we don't want the school day ending at 2:30 every day for kids at the high school level or at the middle school level, but we want them, you know, to be involved, and because of that research, I mean, it is shown that it's going to make them more successful in their future years. So we're very proud of the participation rate of the kids that we got going here, our boys and girls in all those areas, and we want to continue to get better there. And obviously, too, we want to strive for excellence, too. We want to be the very best in whatever activity that may be.
Yeah. So if you're viewing this and you haven't seen that episode, that was the last episode that we did tape, so that is also on the website, and I believe that is episode number 5, and you'll see a lot of great interviews from athletes and coaches aside. So just in a minute here, we'll be back with our first guest. Welcome back to SuptTalk, and as you can see on my left here, we're with Principal Mr. Lonnie Seifert. Welcome, Mr. Seifert.
Thank you.
And this isn't our normal location for SuptTalk. Behind me you can see a lot of the careers, college. We're in the upper media, second floor of the New Prague High School, where students have access to lots of different information, both in the paper form, but also in the internet and those types of things, where we also have students meet with college representatives as they come and visit. There's military information, 2 4-year colleges. There's all kinds of information here behind us and all around, and I know Mitch will show you that here in a little bit. But we're here with Mr. Seifert today to talk about a big night that's coming up on Monday, February 8th. And I'll allow Mr. Dittberner to ask the questions, but he's going to give us a real good idea of what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's February 8th, like Tony said, Monday, February 8th, we've got University Night, 7 o'clock. What is University Night, and what's the purpose of the whole symbol?
New Prague University Night, Monday, February 8th, starting at 7 o'clock. Its intention is to have next year's juniors and seniors and their parents attend and to share with them what we have to offer in a wide variety of areas. And there'll really be probably 3 areas that we hit. The college level classes that we offer here at the high school, so students and parents can see what classes they can take here to earn college credit without ever having to leave the high school. We will also touch on the career exploration classes that we offer right now. Probably the biggest one that we have is the male healthcare career exploration, but then we also have some partnerships with some other businesses in town where students have an opportunity to go work with people in those areas and explore, is this an area that I want to go into? And then the third area that we'll address that night is a new program that we're looking at. It's called Career Integrated Learning, which is a program where we're developing some classes that give kids other opportunities to explore a career and make it more relevant in the learning, hands-on, project-based type learning.
Now that the integrated learning program, then you want to talk about the makeup, what the format is, because it's not your typical, for example, on-site or just 1 hour.
Correct. It's a program where students are committing to being off-site, working on a location for that. They're going to be off-site for 3 hours. and they're actually earning 3 credits for that. 2 of them being in each of the classes, and the 2 classes we're offering are called Business in a Global Economy and Healthcare and Sports Science. Each of those classes will be 3 credits, but 2 of those credits are required credits that they need at the high school, so they're still working towards graduation, but it's also providing them an opportunity and to develop what we call soft skills of the job. How do you communicate professionally? Learning that the promptness when you have meetings. And so we will be working with them and developing partnerships with people in the community, whether it be in New Prague or other communities. Some of the key pieces of that program are students getting a mentor to work with roughly once every 2 weeks, where that mentor will have a program that we're working on to develop their skills. Second part will be a number of guest instructors that come in and talk about the different careers. And then the third one is actually having a project, a small group project, where they actually do something for a business and present to them. It's much different than 30 kids in a class for 50 minutes. It's roughly 60 kids is what we're hoping for in a 3-hour block, off-site, much different, much more career, occupation related, and kids get to find out, is this what I want to do, and really explore.
So the 3 areas we talked about, college credit classes, the CIS or AP.
Yep.
You got the MAIL program or the career exploration, and then we have this new integrated learning program, which is a 3-hour block off-site. So far, and I know you've had class meetings, you can talk about the participation interest on CIS or the MAIL program, and also why don't you talk about so far, can you gauge the interest so far in the new classes?
Sure. CIS has been a program that really has grown. I just did some numbers recently, and in the last 5 years, we've had over 450 students at New Prague involved in CIS AP courses. They've earned over 1,000 college credits, and families have actually saved more than $1 million in tuition in those 5 years based on taking the credits here. And so I do believe that will continue. We've added 2 college-level art classes for next year. We've also added a CIS, or College in the Schools, U.S. History class. And then we've also brought in another language arts freshman composition class. So trying to provide more opportunities for students to take that.
How many total classes is that then?
We have over 12 classes. Right now, a student, if they start taking as a junior, and they don't have to overload themselves, but if they start taking them as a junior, can walk out of New Prague High School with more than 1.5 years of college credit. We have 1 senior this year at the high school that is earning 24 college credits in their senior year without ever leaving the high school. So very good opportunity for families. And the nice piece is, I believe I heard earlier in your presentation, you talked about activities. Students are able to stay at the high school and still be involved in activities, whereas if you go off to college, it's harder to come back and stay connected. So
And also to get help from our teachers during
exactly.
the school day.
People that they know, teachers that they're familiar with. The MAIL healthcare class is capped. We have, MAIL can handle 15 per semester based on how that's run. We have to narrow that list down. We have more kids apply for it than they have room for, but they've had great experiences. The feedback that we get from the students, we've had some kids that have gone on to college based on the fact that what they experienced there gave them an idea of what direction they wanted to go. And then the CIL, the Career Integrated Learning Program, we've had grade level meetings with both the sophomores and the juniors this year, which will be juniors and seniors next year, and we gave them a site that they could go apply for the class. We've had a number of kids applying already. I've had an opportunity to meet with 1 or 2 students that have questions, and I really believe after February 8th, after that meeting, when the parents see what the opportunities are, there's going to be a push from the parents that those students should be looking at it. The nice piece with that Career Integrated Learning Program is, I think some kids look at it and say, well, I have to have a really high GPA. otherwise I'm not going to get in. And we're not looking at that. What we're looking at is, we talk about three things. They have to be responsible because they're going to have some meetings with executives. So if you have a 9 o'clock meeting, you're not going to show up at 9 o'clock. You're going to show up at 10 to 9 and be early. You need to be socially mature. Can you communicate with adults in a professional, social manner? And then you have to be collaborative. I think in the work world, we all know that you don't work in isolation. Your work world has become more of a collaborative thing, and so they will be working in small groups. So we're looking for students that have those three things, and they don't have to have a certain GPA or be college ready. We have some students that are ready for this, but they might not have done exactly what they maybe wanted to in their classrooms. They're still going to qualify.
And these career integrated learning classes, it's global business and exercise science?
Yes, healthcare and sports science.
Healthcare and sports science.
Yep.
And global business, and you're looking at, if I heard right, or talking to you earlier, is about 60 students in each class.
We are hoping to have upwards of 60 in each class. Remembering we have 3 teachers, so they're going to get the support they need from those 3 teachers, and they're also going to get that from their mentors, and they're going to get that from their project-based experiences that will provide, really, we think, a very relevant learning experience for them. And again, it goes back to that soft skills. What we hear from people in the work world is we can teach them how to do this job, this high-level skill, but you know what? Can they communicate? Are they collaborative? Are they on time? Are they professional? And so we're going to expect them to dress a little more professionally, and we're not expecting a coat and tie, which, somebody once told me, dress for your next job, but we are going to expect a little bit more of a professional appearance when they come. We're going to treat them more professionally, too.
Well, that sounds wonderful. I mean, it's some great things going on at the high school here with these new classes, and obviously the CIS and the male in career exploration are, a couple years old. I mean, we've been doing those for several years, but those keep getting better and better, and more kids involved there. And this new part with integrated learning too is going to be awesome.
And I think our big thing that we talk about is helping kids, because we're right in the registration process right now where kids are starting to talk about next year, and we keep talking about what's your plan, where do you want to be, and are you ready for that once you get ready to leave. And as Mr. Boothie said, you can see that we have colleges around, college information around here, services. It doesn't matter what you're going to do, if you want to go into the work world, if you want to go on to additional educational setting or into the armed forces. What we want to do is we want to make sure we have a plan, and we've helped you get ready for that plan so that when you leave here, you're ready to career and college readiness.
So just if you can review one more time the New Prague University Night. When is it? Who should be there? And what is kind of the purpose of having it, as you say, preparing for college and career readiness? How would the University Night help some folks? So if some moms and dads are listening, wondering, I wonder if we should go, I wonder if my son or daughter should go, what's that night about again?
Sure. It is, again, it's Monday, February 8th. We've been out on social media with some of that information. Students have been informed of it. It was in our December high school newsletter. It'll be in our January one. We'll also be sending it out through our student software as an announcement. But again, Monday, February 8th, 7 o'clock, high school gym. It is intended for any students that are going to be juniors or seniors next year and their parents. And they will get information on classes that they can take at the high school for college credit. They'll get information on our career exploration and male healthcare class, and they will also get information on the career integrated learning program, which is more of some more career exploration. And it's really for anybody that has that interest to explore more of what do I want to do and how can I be doing things that are really relevant to my future.
Mr. Seifert, will there be some adults, some educators available after the discussions or the presentations are over to ask any questions to counselors, teachers, those types of people?
Yep, we will have various personnel. We're going to have administration here. We will have people that are working within the male healthcare program. We'll have an individual that's working with us in the career integrated learning. We'll have some of those teachers here, and then obviously other people that can answer questions. We want to have a number of people so that if you have specific questions about a program, you don't have to wait for one person to answer all the questions. We're going to have a variety of people, so it'll be in the main gym. But then when we're done, we'll have various areas set up that they can talk to people in those programs.
Last question, we've got a lot of moms and dads watching here. Registration. Every once in a while, I know myself as a dad, maybe I wasn't up on some of those things. When's high school registration really going to take place? And do parents expect our kids bringing home registration booklets? Is there any dates on when things need to be brought back to the high school for registration?
We're actually right in the middle of it. Starting today, which is Wednesday the 27th, our counselors are meeting with all of this year's 10th graders in small groups of about 25 to 30. They're getting their registration handbook, going through the classes, talking about the required classes, the options that they have. They also encourage the students to talk to their teachers that they have right now. For example, in a math or a language, what recommendation does that teacher have for them as far as classes for next year, so that they're challenging themselves. We still want our students to challenge themselves. So they're doing that today with the 10th graders. They'll do that with the juniors next Monday. And then students will have until February 11th to do the online registration. And then we also expect a hard copy back of their registration. That's their initial registration. That's not to say that classes can't change out of that, but that's their initial. And then from that registration, our schedule is really driven by student registration. I truly believe that's what should drive it. It shouldn't be, this is how many classes we have. If we have more kids, then we need to offer more sections of a class, then we're going to do that. And that's where we start building our schedule. And probably by about the 1st of May, the schedule is pretty well set.
All right.
Well, as you can see, a lot of things going on at the New Prague High School, a lot of wonderful activities and programs, not only currently, but also things that are looking into the future. As always, if you have questions, feel free to contact the New Prague High School. A lot of information on the website, both district and the New Prague High School, and parents more than welcome to do that. So, Mr. Seifert, we thank you very much for being with us. We wish you the best on Monday, February 8th. That is the day after the Super Bowl. So we'd love to see a lot of parents and kids at the New Prague High School at 7 p.m. Thank you very much for being with us. And this concludes the 6th episode of SuptTalk.